Are we already online now? I hope everyone is in our room of change. We welcome you to the room of change today, the creative talk. Oh, what happened there? So this is already something we do every time. We make a little disruption in the beginning just to make it a little bit more activating. We welcome you to the room of change today, to our creative talk with Eva Nidecker and Rebekah Abdeen from OpenRide. But first I want to tell you that you can ask questions. We have a Q&A on the webinar from Zoom, on the tablet or on the mobile. You see it on top on the right, you see Q&A. And if you are on the desktop, you see it on the bottom right, Q&A, and there you can write your questions. You can write it in this moment when the questions pop up in your head, and we will answer the questions at the end of the talk. So remember, there are no stupid questions, and use the chance to ask your questions. So with our creative talks, we want to highlight people who already create or live with those qualities, which we encourage with the House of Change. And Eva and Rebekah, with their brand and their indoor cycling studio OpenRide, are definitely a true inspiration. Ever since I first set a foot in this studio, I was amazed by the experience they deliver. It's like really a holistic, multi-sensual experience here. I've never experienced it in any other place. It goes beyond sweating in a group. It feels much more like a movement or a community you can really be a part of. And just for the people who doesn't know OpenRide already, it's an indoor cycling studio. It's actually the place we are in right now. It's based in Zurich at Europaallee, and thank you so much for hosting us, and very welcome to Eva and Rebekah. Unfortunately, Rebekah has to join us from her quarantine room, but we got very lucky with technology that we can be together like this now.
Thank you for the invitation.
So nice to have you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, we have Rebekah on our screen here. So for all the people at home, if we really look like this, it's that we are also looking to Rebekah. So for our guests, like the guests at home, it's always very interesting how people what backgrounds people have. So it would be very interesting, Eva, if you could tell us what you did before OpenRide.
Well, I was working as a host, like for 20 years, for radio, for television shows, for events. That's what I did basically. And at some certain point, I was looking for a deeper sense to my life, because as a host, you give your voice, you give your face to other people's content, right? So at some point, I felt a little bit bored doing this. Despite having met very incredible people, but still I wanted to find my own content and my own passion to drive me through the rest of my life. And I'm so glad that, I want to mention at that point, it's not only Rebekah and I, it's also Florine, my partner, who is in the game of OpenRide, who founded OpenRide together with us. So, and it's so good that we met Rebekah along the way, because I think I couldn't have imagined anybody else doing this crazy project with Rebekah. Yeah.
And Rebekah, can you tell us what you did before you created OpenRide here in Zurich?
Well, I mean, I've been working in fitness. I'm 31 now. I'm almost 32, and I've been working in fitness since I was about 19. So in all different capacities as a personal trainer, and then I was operating gyms and working more in the, the kind of business side of it. But my true passion was always teaching classes and being amongst people. And then it was a very natural progression for me that I just suddenly became much more known for teaching indoor cycling classes. And the first time I ever taught an indoor cycling class was on a cruise ship in Mexico. Very unusual experience, but just completely magic. We put a CD in and you had to wheel the bikes out and you were just sailing on the high seas. It was very unorthodox. and before that, I had really like a very sporty and performing arts background when I was at school. So yeah, it was kind of like my career now has become like an amalgamation of all those different components of my youth and fitness. And I couldn't be more grateful that, you know, Eva, Florine and I met through the powers of Instagram as much as we cursed it. I mean, that was literally what brought us together. So yeah, very, very amazing story, really.
Absolutely.
And we described it a little bit what Open Ride is, but it would be very interesting to hear it from you both. What is Open Ride?
Open Ride is an experience to feel your body, to sweat in a very different setting than usually. So what we do, we bring nightlife and fitness together. You can see the lights here in the background. There are so many other options to use that light than only this specific setting. Just imagine you're being at a club at 4 a.m. That's how we like to refer to, right, Rebekah? Being at a club at 4 a.m. and just losing it. But you're sitting on a bike and you're sweating like hell. So, and it's really a nice experience also to share with other people around you. I don't know if you want to add something, Rebekah, to that, what we're doing with Open Ride?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a brand, you know, there are many indoor cycling studios around the world, and really our focus is not about the bike at all. It's just an accessory to make you sweat and keep you in the rhythm of the music. And our passion was to create like a sensation, like a real human experience through this kind of shared power of sweat. And it really goes beyond any kind of preconception of what indoor cycling is. We still feel like we deliver a true fitness experience. And, you know, every instructor is really delivering a very strong class every single time. But the focus is really on sensation, music culture, feeling like you're on a dance floor at 4 a.m., like Eva said, really just like leaving it all behind in a completely different context. So I think we achieved that. I think we had a lot of dance floor moments in that studio over the last year.
And that's also why music competence is very important to us, was always important to us, that like the music we're playing at the studio in the rides is crucial to the experience, right? I mean, there are so many different other music, experiences around, but we really also want to focus on high quality music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the instructors invest so much time in that. You know, every playlist is different every time they teach a class, and it's a very eclectic sound. Every instructor's got a different music style, but it's a real quality sound. It's something that can really transport you to a different time and place. So yeah, the team do an amazing job on that.
Yeah, I would also say like it's amazing how everybody is having such a great playlist and everything is on time and your pedal stroke is in time, and it's just such another level of using music in a fitness experience. Really, that's completely another level of. It also makes just so much fun being in a class like this. I mean, I'm not getting paid by Open Ride. I'm just really in love with this thing.
Oh, so nice of you.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, we invited you because experience is a huge topic, and I just think it's such a nice analogy, or yeah, it's just a really good example on how to create and deliver an experience. I mean, the studio is amazing. I mean, it's even on a picture, it looks nice, but if you enter the room, it's dark, but the lights are crazy and the sound is amazing. But also every email you sending out to your customers, it's just so friendly and welcoming. And for me, it seems like you had a very clear vision on how your experience should look like. And also, since you are the three of you, like Florine, Eva, and Rebekah, how did you create this vision together?
Yeah, I think that was the most fascinating part, Rebekah, right? I mean, there are three people meeting, and it shows after time that everybody is dedicating something very specific to the project. I mean, it was very clear from the beginning that Rebekah is the super creative mind, like really always driving creativity, which is so amazing and also so fun to work with, you know. Florine also is very creative. He's more in execution of creative stuff. Like that's also his job today. So he would do objects for artists. He would do Werbetechnik, signaging. And me, I'm more the practical person, I'd say. The practical person, the person who focuses rather on I don't know, human like or human behavior or I don't know, HR. I don't. That's my kind of strengths, and I think we really all of us brought in our strengths into this project, and it was really really fascinating to get. You know, in the beginning it was all just an idea, right, Rebekah? It was just an idea, and now look where we are. We have this space. We have, and all of those details you just mentioned. That's really also the experience of Rebekah coming from London, from a very big city in the world with a big fitness industry, and having worked in this field for so many years and having experienced so many good things, also bad things. So we also could really bring in Rebekah's experience into the project. What does work? What does not work? Oh, maybe we could make USB port in each locker, so each person can basically load their iPhone when they are sitting on the bike while they're riding, you know, little details like this. And yes, customer service, it's so important, especially nowadays. It's just, in the end of the day, you want to create a beautiful experience. You want to have people access this experience from wherever they come from. They might have never sat on a bike. They may not ever have done fitness before, but you just want to welcome them, and then therefore it's so important. Rebekah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's really a fascinating process that we went through, right?
I think so too, and I think what's interesting is the further we get down the line, and despite the fact we've been closed for as long as we've been open, which is just ridiculous. But I think what we really wanted to deliver, and even though we all had different backgrounds and different experiences, and we're all, the three of us, bringing something very unique to the table in our own skill sets, the common ground was that we all, first of all, love to have a great time. That is number one. And number two, we really all had this like dedicated vision of creating a real human experience. That was not even like, no idea was too big, no idea was too crazy. It was like, how can we elevate every part of this journey through the physical space, through the whole kind of class experience, everything about it? How can we make it so magical in every different way? And even though we did come from these different backgrounds and different cultures as well, and you know, Swiss culture is actually very different to the UK culture. And I'm from the north of England. I'm a Geordie girl, really. I'm not originally from London, but I lived in London for so many years. It kind of became my home. But you adopt all these little parts of you, and it was so beautiful as an experience that the three of us, with all of our strengths and our weaknesses, have kind of created this kind of ball of energy. And it's just kind of gathered more momentum with more and more people. And it was hard in the beginning, right? Because we were doing something really disruptive. Even for London, it was a disruptive plan. And everyone was going, who are these guys? What are they doing? Like, from London who's just suddenly in Zurich, like with too much energy. And I don't know, we just kept driving it. We were like, we believe in us, and we believe in what we're trying to do, because fitness is a very difficult industry. And I was always frustrated that many studios always made me feel very unwelcome. And I know this was a common ground that we also shared, where we said, how can we break down all of the barriers of fitness and appeal to a much larger group of people than fitness has ever appealed to before? And I'm so grateful that even on a grassroots level, the three of us all shared that vision, really, which is really special.
And we were all three so passion driven. I think the passion really is so important. Whatever you do in life, I think that's the thing that also other people will feel at the end.
Yeah. And I also think that this is something really special, that you also are able to share it with people, like really wholeheartedly, that everyone who's entering the studio feels welcome. And I think that is it's also a quality which is very important for those days, like you are really open to everyone, and a very inclusive group of people. Also, the people who are in your rides is like you get to know so many nice people, like from every part of life, and fit, non-fit, and right, because I was always very scared to. I would never have gone to a cycling class because I thought I'm gonna die, but it was just so nice, and everybody was so helpful. When you enter the studio, you don't have to think about anything. You just everybody's so
happy that you
supportive.
perceive it that way. I think that's a goal we wanted to reach, that everybody feels safe and at a good place and taken care of.
Yeah, it is really like this, and it's also that it is so impressive, like it is with the lights and all that stuff. It could be also a little bit unaccessible, because it's too trendy or something like this. But then a lot of people told me, no, they will take you by the hand and they will show you everything. And that was really, I told Eva, I never looked at the bikes because I was always so nervous here inside. And I thought, oh, someone has to help me with the shoes and all that stuff. And always there was someone helping me. And this is really special that, yes, it is nice and it is beautiful, but it is so much, it's so important how you take the relationships with your riders or your customers. And you already talked about it, the human behavior, but somehow you think, where does that come from, that you have this observing talent, that you see how you can take someone by the hand? And
well, I think it helps to have myself been in this situation before, and to have felt alienated by maybe other studios or other behaviors at other studios, to know that's not what I want. Actually, that's the origin of why this project happened, because this was the case. And I thought, no, that takes the whole magic out of a beautiful sports activities and an experience, to not feel at ease. So I think that's the biggest motivation, to know how it feels to not feel treated that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, it's, fitness really is, when you break it down, it's such an intimate experience. I mean, we have a ride called Climax, which I'm sure we're going to talk about later. But we say, if you can get sweaty and breathless with other people, I mean, you can ride this class, and that's anybody. And I mean, the whole purpose of that ride was to give people the sensation of sex on the bike. And, it's a really intimate experience. And as soon as you kind of create this like relaxed intimacy with people you don't know, but you're so like ready to meet and engage with, it breaks down so many barriers immediately. And I think that's such a special thing, to be able to share like that cathartic energy with other people in a room, just like sweating. And it's such a human thing. It's so primal, actually. That I think you can't get more magical than that.
True. But I think maybe you could elaborate a bit on that, on these different rides which you are teaching. I mean, yes, we can also show now the videos, right?
Have a look at, we have 3 videos, like small videos that represent our 3 ride formats. Climax is the first, I think, we're going to show.
You motherfucker was your mind.
It's a very fun, a very uplifting experience, right? A lot of choreography, upper body movement, full body movement. Rebekah, you're the professional.
Yeah, I mean, this ride was designed, like I said before, to create this kind of like sensation of sex. I mean, obviously, we're not suggesting that you're actually going to climax on the bike. We would really hope that you would leave with such a euphoria that it could at least almost match that. And we've got an amazing brand partner from Los Angeles, who I'm pretty sure the majority of the world will be familiar with now, which is Bala. We're actually the first indoor cycling studio in the world, and I think we're still we're the only ones still, right, who actually wear weights on the bike rather than using hand weights. And there's just an incredible flow in the class. You have this added resistance on each arm, really euphoric, really uplifting, but a real nice moment as well to like switch off and zone out. It's just, yeah, it's a really and it's a really awesome workout as well, on top of, you know, being really, you know, climaxing. So yeah, that's kind of like, you know, I think a lot of people love that ride. Men, women, all ages. It doesn't matter. Everyone loves a climax.
And then we have a second format. It's called Commit, and it's rather performance driven or power driven. We're going to show you a video on that one. Maybe you want to take over, Rebekah.
So Commit, I mean, so where we've got climax is the kind of sensation of sex and moving around the bike wearing bala weights. Commit is much more of a power ride. It's about honesty in your workout. We do have a leaderboard technology inside the ride that you can see your live position. It naturally becomes competitive, but the ride was not designed for that. We say that at the beginning of every class, guys, don't get competitive. But I promise you, we take the board away, we bring it back, we take it away. It's not the whole ride. Rafaela, I know you love that ride so much because
yes, I do.
So like, bam, whatever you're dealing with. I mean, I wish we could ride Commit together right now. I think we'd take off. Really, it's a really cathartic experience of just like letting everything out. You know, you ride still to the beat, but we give you the RPM and we give you the level, like the resistance guide to work with. And all of your metrics from your ride are delivered to your open ride account at the end of your class. So you can track your performance and you can see how you're doing and be honest. It's the human quality of honesty. So yeah, I really love to teach that class. It's my favorite, actually.
And then we have a third format, which we actually only run at special events, which is quite difficult anyways at that time. So it's our event ride. It's called Collide Ride. So our Collide rides are designed to bring in artists, bringing new talents on stage while riding the bike during a regular session actually, but having an added performance, which is so amazing. We had drummers, we had trumpet players, we will surely have a singer at some point. We have so many nice talents, right?
Yeah, and we had on our opening, I think that the opening night was just magical, really, wasn't it? Which feels like a whole other
Kemi Beatbox. Kemi Beatbox at Club Zukunft together with Carlo, the drummer. It's really amazing. It's so powerful. And it brings together fitness and art and culture. That's so amazing.
But this was always something you wanted to do. Was it also something you shared, the three of you, that you wanted to have like special experiences like that? Yeah. Like those collides? Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know that, you know, Florine and Eva together as a couple, they love to experience live music and music culture. And I mean, you know that I play music and I love nothing more than, you know, experiencing raw music live. So I think for sure we love to have a good time, and there's nothing that says having a good time more than having a live concert experience while you're having a workout. And we've been so lucky to have so much talent around us as well, who are also so open-minded. I mean, on our birthday party, which was incredible, we did like a full day of artist lineup, which was organized by Ocelot, who some people will know as being a great group of talented designers and DJs. And Manu Fisher organized that lineup for us. And it was a real, from my perspective, it was just the most incredible music culture experience colliding with fitness, to have the DJ booth in the middle of the studio with the bikes wrapped around. It was so intimate and special. So yeah, we probably definitely share that vision.
Cool. So I'm coming back to the commit situation, like the ride where you have to like just. For me, it always feels like I always feel like Frodo on the way to
Mordor.
to Mordor, and then I find it the way you address people in your ride, Rebekah, has such a huge effect. Like if I, as a rider, I feel like dying. It's a very high intensity ride, right? You are very much on your limit, and it's dark and it's crazy colors and music, and I feel like giving up, and then all of a sudden I hear, I see you, Rafaela, and my mood completely changes immediately. And yeah, I think that is also something which is so good to translate also to everyday life, to businesses, like that you are cheering people and holding space for people, or even empower them to pushing beyond their limits. And how do you see like the impact of cheering people, and which methods do you use other from that to get people in those, yeah, to like push them even further?
I mean, I think, everyone has a story, right? And I think, going back to the intimacy of group fitness, really, and I think very good quality group fitness is all about a really raw connection. You're really, when you're on that bike and you're sweating to such a degree, you're really letting it all go, and you're really breaking down all your own barriers in front of people that you don't really know. And that's a big step already to take. And I think as an instructor, it's your role, it's your job to empower people, because a lot of people will step into that room feeling alienated already because it's such an unusual space for them to step into, or maybe they're dealing with something outside and this is their only time in the day. It's 45 minutes for them where they can really release themselves. And sometimes, as an instructor, you can be tired yourself, or you're dealing with stuff yourself as well. But every single time you turn up and get on that bike, it's like it becomes a vocation. It's not about just turning up and teaching a class. It's about actually committing yourself to people. And that time it's not my time, it's other people's time. And even though I share in that experience, and I know all the other instructors feel the same and teach with the same energy, that it really goes beyond just being an instructor. It's really, you become somebody's, in that 45 minutes, you become somebody's best friend, their greatest ally, their biggest champion, somebody who's celebrating them for 45 minutes nonstop. And the importance of having that intimacy and that personal connection with all people in the room, even if you've never met them before, it can take somebody from having a terrible morning to the best day of their life. And that's a really magical thing that I hope that I can continue to share with people for many, many years to come, really. I might be 60. Geriatrics, still trying to do it.
Yeah, talking about your employees or your instructors, how do you train this feeling, or your observings to your employees, or also how do you recruit your employees?
Maybe I'm going to start here quickly, because we did a campaign maybe even 8 months before we opened up, was before Christmas, and we did a campaign to search for the right people to become instructors at Open Ride. But we didn't want to reveal too much, so we did a campaign which was very nice and very mysterious in a way, and we hang out those posters outside of the Opera House, outside of the Markthalle, like everywhere artists are moving and people who work with music and appreciate music. So that was the first step to reach the right people. And we did kind of a very inconvenient first casting round, right, Rebekah? At 25 Hours Hotel. And I guess every one of them, they expected us to sit them on the bike and show us what they can do on the bike. But we didn't do that. We gave them a glass of champagne, some food, and we walked them through the concept and the idea of Open Ride, and really try to have that spark reach them. And I think it happens with many people of them. And I mean, we have now 2 ballet dancers of the Opera House giving classes at Open Ride. We have 2 lawyers. We have, of course, also fitness people. We have such a diverse group of people, and also nationalities running those classes. I think the human quality of those people and the dedication to music was more important to us than anything else, right, Rebekah?
Completely agree. And I think, anything can be taught, really. And riding the bike, as long as somebody has the ability to understand music and really enjoys digging into music, that's really important. It really comes down to, like Eva said, like this really raw human aspect of just wanting to show up and just treat it, it's like a vocation. Like somebody, they're not doing it because they think, I really want to be an instructor. It's like, I do this because I want to share the energy of people. I want to listen to great music. I want to feel like I'm on a dance floor at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I want to share that experience with other people. And maybe there's something in me that feels like I can lead that, and I want to enjoy that moment in my life. And I'm so grateful for the team. I think we have the most incredible group of humans on the team, and not just with the ride instructors too, but also front of house. I mean, and housekeeping. Our entire team has become like a family, and I think only the challenges of the COVID closures that we've been dealing with, which have been like, just let's not go too much into that, but it's only made this family unit stronger and stronger, and really reinforced that when we do recruit, we always recruit to create a unit which is not a clique. It's not something which is like a tribe. It's that we wanted to get away from all of that. We just wanted to bring all different kinds of people together. It's really magical.
It is. It really feels like that. So for today's talk, we highlighted the words experience and community. And from all this transformation, digitalization, publications, you always see the word community. But today we have a new word or a new understanding of community. And I think somehow we all think, we know what a community is. It is like a village, and there is the chief of the village, and then maybe there is a doctor, and then there is someone who looks after the children. But now we develop some kind of a new community. And it would be very interesting from you two to hear what is your feeling of a community in 2021?
For me personally, a community should make you feel safe, should be open, in order for you to share your experiences, your opinions, without feeling alienated or having kind of a barrier in between you and other people. You should just feel safe and welcome and have an experience change in all consequence. That's how I feel a proper, a true communicant should feel like. No, what do you say? No, yeah, how do you say in German, in English?
Like no rules
kann ich
or
Vorgabe, kann ich Vorurteil, no, no judgment, no judgment.
Yeah.
Yes, no judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would amplify everything that you've just mentioned, and I would say as well, what's dangerous about using the word community often is that, and it's used a lot in fitness, we hear it a lot, this is our community and this is our tribe, and it can go very quickly from being something which had a very good intention in the beginning to say, oh, we're going to create this great community. But then if you're not careful, it can quite easily become something which is quite closed. So I think the most important thing with a community is, like Eva said, to be open and always ask the questions. Like always ask why, how, what, when. If we're not asking the questions, we're not expanding. And without expansion, the community can never be open. You constantly have to be evolving and have some kind of like consistent revolution all the time and reinvention. So I would amplify everything Eva said and just say that to be a true community, you constantly have to ask the question, and you constantly have to say to yourself, maybe there's another way. Maybe there's another way, maybe there's a new thinking. Because if you're not thinking in a different way, you're kind of doing the thing that you always did. Yeah. And that doesn't lead you in a new direction, which becomes quite closed off, like a closed system. So we always want to keep asking the questions, basically.
And I mean, a part of our event rights, or one of our event rights, maybe to just to give you an example, we were holding an event, right, a collide ride around the theme of bondage, BDSM, which might be a little bit, adventurous for some people. Like, why would we do as an indoor cycling studio such an event? But it was just such a magical event because we tried to explain the idea behind bondage in a much more soft way than people would expect, right? So it was such a magical and quiet evening also. So we try to give some Anstöß, like some
Yeah,
just some ideas to
some
think,
hint or some glimpses into
yes,
new worlds.
new ideas,
maybe, yeah?
basically, and to highlight subjects in a different way, maybe also.
Totally. It's like we try to give like little like windows and portals. And I think what was so interesting was on the bondage topic. So I know that Eva had created this incredible documentary a couple of years ago, which many people enjoyed, on a kind of a similar vein. And I had been away at the end of last year and experienced this incredible like scene in downtown LA, which was like this kind of really strong BDSM, like nightlife experience with raves. And there was something so magnetic about it. And then I think we had a phone call when I got back and I said, hey, based on what the topics you've discussed previously and this experience, what do you think about this? And in true Eva style was like, sounds like a great idea. So, so many crazy things. Like, yeah. I mean, Ava suggested so many things to me in the past, and I've just said, yeah, sure, why not? And then we've expanded it, and it's happened in some way. I mean, sometimes some of the ideas have been so crazy, in a bit. But both ways, we just bounce things off. And sometimes, like, Florine will get into the conversation, gets really excited about it and go, that sounds great. I'm going to make this for it. I'm going to make like this construction. And, like people can come in and have a light show. And it's just like, we're just a little bit mad, really, I think.
Yeah. we simply don't limit ourselves. We just don't limit us. Of course, as you just mentioned before, there were, I guess, some ideas that we just threw away along the way, which was maybe not the worst idea. But I think it's important to allow all of those ideas to happen and to follow them.
But I think that's also something which makes everything so welcoming, because there's not so many forbidden things to do here, right? As an inclusive space, you have to be very open. And also, on the other hand, it's very interesting for your riders, your clients, to get those kind of inspirations, which they may be, which also allows them to open their horizon to some extent.
Absolutely. I think it probably also attracts more open people. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe not all of them, but I think most of the people who come through the door, they are open in one or the other way, and you can really feel that. I mean, again, back to the bondage event, we were quite surprised, Rebekah, right, when we really had riders come here and they were wearing latex and leather for the rides. I mean, I just felt for them because of the sweating in latex. That's, I imagine, to be very hard. But it just shows that they were so committed to give a little piece of their bondage approach to the event, Yeah,
it was amazing. And all I remember is, and I have to say this, he might kill me for saying this, but Saliba, one of our instructors, I mean, him and I would teach class together. So normally when we do a collide event, it's always two instructors together with, an act. And that happened to be this live bondage performance. But Saliba messaged me and said, I'm going to wear latex. And I thought he was joking. And then when I arrived at the studio and we were meeting to kind of get ready to set up the event, he came out of the changing room wearing latex. And I was like, dude, I salute you. Like, this is why we are here, just for you to enjoy this moment, which is so bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen an instructor teach any kind of class in latex. And it was a 6 60-minute ride. It was a
Oh my God.
Raphael, you were in that ride.
Yes,
60
I've been
minutes.
in that ride. It was very hard, even without wearing latex.
So good.
I should have worn latex tonight just to kind of bring back memory.
True. So I'm just, yeah, coming back to the COVID situation a bit. Like, we don't want to talk too much about it, but there have been so many changes for you as a fitness studio. I don't know where to put you in a box. How do you cope with this current situation?
Well, I mean, it is a challenging time for all of us, for most of businesses. And I mean, offering group classes in a locked room is the worst thing you can do right now. So it's just a reality that we need to cope with. Gratefully, we did so well before the first lockdown. We really exceeded all of our expectations, which allows us now to be a little bit more relaxed. Not totally relaxed, I would lie if I would say that, but like a little bit more relaxed than maybe other businesses that had a harder time. But we really are very grateful to know at least once we're opening up, it's going to work. It's going to work out. And of course, we're living in Switzerland, really thanks to this amazing social system and financial also opportunities now with all of the helps, and supports of the government. And it's really amazing to be sitting in Switzerland also as a business. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and it's also tough to. We're almost going to be closed as long as we have ever been open. Imagine.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you experience, Rebekah, like the whole challenge around COVID?
The first lockdown, I mean, I think as a business, and what I appreciate so much in the team is that, Eva and I are always so well aligned on these topics. And I think we're both Aries, by the way, it should be said, for those astrology, but our birthdays are 2 days apart. And our gut feeling is always exactly the same. And whenever we've had to take a tough decision about closure, which is honestly, it's heartbreaking, but we've always taken those decisions prematurely because we just felt in our spidey senses that something was all the wheels were about to come off, basically. And I'm really proud of us that even in year one, when we could have said, oh my God, we don't want to close, we just opened, we took those really hardline decisions and wanted to really protect not just, our own community of people who come and participate in classes, but also our team and the welfare of our team, and making sure that we're always prioritizing the human side of the business over the corporate side of the business. So I'm very proud of us that we've been able to make those really tough decisions. And for me, the recent closure, well, it's not so recent now, but the current closure, which we did on the 28th of October, when Federal Council said that face masks are now mandatory for indoor exercise. That hit me quite hard, actually. I've drank a lot of wine since the end of October.
Absolutely. That was a tough one. It's sorry?
That was a very tough one for both of us, I think.
Yeah, and it's also not hard to not be able to plan. So will it be March? Probably not. Will it be April, May? We don't know. We just don't know. We just have to wait, be patient, and make the best out of it.
And how do you keep your spirit high? I mean, wine drinking is good, but then someday you think, come on, I have to keep my spirit somehow to go on.
I think my personal key to cope with the situation the best way possible is to take care of myself, to maybe not always drink wine, maybe change my diet, sit on the bike on my own once in a while, just to train myself and get a sweat, or to go running outside, just to stay active one or the other way, to meet people, good friends, and now and then, very close people, or the family. There's more time for the family. There's so many good things to do in this time, at least there's a lot of time for that now.
And you, Rebekah, how do you keep your spirits high?
I agree. Well, I was keeping my spirits very high between the end of October and New Year by participating in a lot of wine drinking and a lot of spontaneous dancing around the apartment. But I then, I think it was more drowning my sorrows for a period of time. I mean, I still, I go out running a lot and I was quite active outdoors. Now the weather's changed. I mean, we've got this beautiful snowfall in Zurich, which makes, outdoor exercise very difficult. But I said to myself, okay, I'm going to start doing, Insta Live workouts from home, more for myself to keep me accountable and want to kind of connect with people, even if I don't see their faces, just to feel people on the other side of Instagram Live is a really special experience. So I've been really enjoying that since the beginning of January. And, we connect with the team. I've been cooking a lot. I've been baking cakes and there's not much more you can do. We did everything. I mean, last year we did a whole charity campaign, If Not Now When. We ran pretty much the entire year and we raised, a few thousand francs for various different charities. And that was amazing. And I'm so happy that we did that last year, right? But I mean, right now, it just feels like you just got to kind of freeze in your position and look inwardly, take care of yourself, get ready for the new world, because it is, I think it is a whole new world, and just stay positive, stay focused. I mean, there's nothing more you can do than that. And I mean, we speak all the time and we constantly discuss like, should we do this little campaign? Should we do that little campaign? And little like bits and pieces here and there. And people buy Bala from us or, Form Nutrition. And we're very grateful to all those lovely people who, want a little bit of open ride in their lockdown from our e-commerce. So thank you very much to everyone who's involved in that.
You're both highly sensitive people, and I think you both have a very good gut feeling. You already told it before, but also when it comes to decide in which direction you go. It would be very interesting what your future forecast for fitness or subculture cult is.
That's a hard one. I mean, if you have an answer right away, Rebekah, I'm going to give you a go. I need to think about that quickly.
I mean, the great topic at the minute around fitness is virtual at home versus in studio human experience, right? And my personal opinion, which I had in the beginning of the first lockdown, and honestly, I still maintain it, is that people, no matter what happens, need human experience. We all crave human connection. And even though that's going to look strange for a while and it's going to be difficult for a while, I truly believe that it will come full circle and we will go back, maybe with a different approach, maybe with a different way of moving through life. But I don't believe that virtual fitness will ever replace human connection and in studio fitness. And I really hope that that's not the case, because as much as technology is an incredible tool for creating new space for people to connect, it never replaces human contact. And I think that, if we look back to the 90s when we had like illegal rave culture in the UK, whenever there's like a time of challenge or struggle, only amazing things come from that. So I really believe in my heart that fitness will only become a more incredible space, both virtual and in studio, but I really hope more in studio once all of this is passed. I really look forward to that time.
I mean, there has been time recently actually where we envisaged the opportunity to maybe offer virtual classes to our riders. But then again, thinking it through, we created this space in order to bring so many people together and to sweat. And it just doesn't feel right in our guts, right? To have it streamed to people's houses, to their apartments, sitting on their bike all alone and looking into a small screen. And I don't know, that's my feeling, how I feel about it. I mean, but you think about every option in a crisis like this, right? You have to think in all directions.
And what changes would you love to see in the fitness industries?
With what?
What changes would you love to see? Like, what would you find a nice change for the fitness industries?
I would love to see, that's a big wish, fitness industry that's way more relaxed than I experience it right now. I'm not from the fitness industry, but honestly, I was quite shocked how alienating the behavior of fitness industry, like how do you say, players within the fitness industry is and can be. And that's not who we are. We always want to make a bridge to other people and to other businesses also. We're totally on board with collaborations of any kind, maybe even with competitors, wherever. You know, there's no barriers. But finding out that it's a different reality was a little bit disappointing, and I would hope for a more open-minded, way of thinking within the fitness industry.
So
I would second that.
Okay, I thought so.
we have like talked about what we wanted to hear. I mean, it would be amazing to talk for hours with you two amazing, inspirational ladies. But it's now the time that we could also maybe look at the questions, if there are some questions from our guests at home. There's one comment.
If you want to leave a question, make it now. You can also ask it in German.
Yes.
I will translate it. Should I go and look for the question? I have to ask the production. What? So I'm gonna.
So we
go
take
a bit
the
closer.
iPad.
But also for that time now, I mean, if you want to, I'm going to take this a bit closer to me.
Yeah.
If you want to connect with OpenRide, like everything, all the information you find on your website, right? It's
Yes.
OpenRide.
Openride.ch. You will find all of the information regarding OpenRide as a brand, as a studio, with all of our class formats. You will find out what music taste is being played by what instructor. You will find out anything you want about OpenRide. There's an online shop, of course, also, and then you just subscribe, and then you can buy credit packages, like welcome package 2 for 1, and the 1-pack, 5-pack, 10-pack, 20-pack. And so basically you don't have a year annual fee that you pay, but you pay for the times you come. So that's very
And
easy.
also you could also like order one of those bala bangs, right? Those
You
weight
can order the
bands.
weights we have in the class, and we have so many different, or the shower products we have in our
shower products are
changing
nice too. I
rooms.
miss the showers and the big towels as well.
Melon and goats, yeah.
And you're also on Instagram. It's OpenRide underline.
OpenRide underline. You will find us on Instagram.
So I'm
And on
gonna.
Facebook.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna read some of the questions now. Rebekah, I see you now in the iPad. So we are looking at you here now. So Tina is writing, Eva is the biggest, brightest sunshine, spreading her light everywhere she goes. So nice.
Thank you, Tina.
And then we have a question from Jill. And she asks, what is the average age of your riders?
Oh, that's an interesting question. If I would guess, please correct me, Rebekah, if I'm wrong, but I think average age would be probably around, 35, 38. What do you think?
I would say probably late 30s. I mean, we have such a big age range. We have some young girls in their teenage years who are, coming with a parent and guardian. Then we have, some people who are riding who are in their 60s. So it's such a big range of gender and age and all different kind of industries and all different, it's just an incredible mix of people. So I would say you're probably right, Ava, probably about 30, but mid to late 30s.
Yeah. And there's another question from Jill, and she asks, and what is the average age of your instructors?
Interesting question.
I mean, I'm 31. I'm gonna be 32 in March. I'm just thinking, I think our average age is probably about 30, isn't it?
Yeah, or maybe even 28, maybe. I don't know. Well, 30. I think so, 30. Yeah, I think you're right.
I probably think 30. Yeah, we've got quite a mature team.
No, but this was also like some kind of wrong idea that I had, that this like only like the fittest and skinniest people joining an indoor cycling ride, which isn't true. I mean, there is of course I'm I am the most. I mean, there's so many people who have so much power in their legs. It's crazy, but there's so many like different kind of people in you, right? And also in the studio, like walking into the studio from all parts of life.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we wanted, to reach everyone, not feeling alienated or being afraid of anything that maybe happened to this person previously, experiencing fitness. So we really want to be accessible to anyone.
Yeah. And what I also experienced is that it's actually a very good way to, if you are not fit at the moment, it's a very good good thing to come to this studio because it's so dark. Nobody can see you. You're completely on your own because everybody is struggling so hard himself, right?
Yes. It's really anonymous as an experience, despite sharing the energy in the room, but you're still kind of hidden in the darkness of the room.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's a really good start. I think the first 2 rides, you're almost going to die because everything is so new. You need to get adapted to the bike and maybe you're not in the rhythm or to the beat of the music, but after, I think I would say after the 3rd ride, you're good to go and build up on top of that.
Sorry for my comedian show. In the beginning it is very hard, but then you feel it again that you can work hard.
Yeah.
Something that you never feel in your body when you're not training anything.
Yeah, and your cardio goes up so quickly. You're so fit after a very short time. Yeah.
We have a question in this direction from Sarah. She asks, what would you say to somebody who tried cycling once but who is too scared to try again because of the high intensity? P.S. Love the energy of this talk.
I'm going to give Rebekah that one.
I would say that it doesn't matter. It's always your class, your ride, it's your workout. So it doesn't matter whether you had a class before and you thought, oh my God, this is not for me, it's too high intensity. When you come, you just do your thing, and the music and the energy of people around you, and that should be the thing that elevates your mood. So I would say it's not even about coming for the workout. Come for your mind first, and then let everything else follow. So come and just want to feel amazing, embrace it all the energy, all the light, all the sound, all the lovely people around you, all the sweat. And then step by step, you're going to feel more and more comfortable. It's never about the workout. It's always about you, your mind, and just letting it all go. That's what I would say.
Perfect.
That's a good one. So, there's more questions. Katrin asks, who came up with the super cool design of the space? Was all of it your idea too?
Oh, that was an interesting process. We worked together with OOS architects, but I think the basics of how we look in the space are originally our design team, I think. So we worked together with 3 very talented young designers who created the logo, the color palette and everything, the whole CI, the whole visual elaboration of our what we wanted to stand for. And then basically the architect translated all of that into the space. So you will find, for example, the 13-degree angles at the front desk because we have it in the logo. It's a 13-degree angles. And you would find the color, even the colors you see now in the walls. It's our 3 main colors. It's the commit blue, it's the climax red, it's the collide salmon or kind of salmonish. So he really did his best to translate it into this space, right? Would you add something, Rebekah?
Yeah, I mean, I think we always wanted to create a brand that didn't really look like a fitness brand. It didn't feel like a fitness brand. It felt more kind of energetic and cozy. And I think the design team have just been incredible. And that was an amazing process. I mean, we were working with Jarl and Pablo and Stefan for so long, right, to build in this whole visual structure of the brand. So yeah, it was a really special time, and it was really fun, and working with OOS too.
And it's very beautiful. It really is. Also, Katrin says, compliment to your great energy. You are fantastic.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Katrin. That's so sweet. Yeah, we really hope to be back soon again. honestly, we miss every one of you. We miss riding with you. We miss the energy in the space with all of our customers, with all of the team. It's really a hard time to really have to let it all go for now. It's really tough, but we're gonna get there again.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking very much forward to see you again in the studio here. So I think we are already at the end. And yeah, I just really want to thank you to you, Eva and Rebekah, for sharing all your personal ideas and everything about OpenRide and how you feel about those topics. And we hope to be on your cycling classes again very soon.
Yes, we hope so too, and thank you so much for inviting us. It was so nice, right, Rebekah, to share all of those memories also again, and to have it all. Yeah,
It's
share.
good to go back into this space
Yes.
of options, no?
Yeah.
Really nice what you're doing also with this whole festival, this digital festival, and giving place, giving space to so many nice subjects and creative topics and people.
Yeah, we have to all carry our spirit, no? We have to keep it high and get together. Don't be for ourselves, no? We have to be together so it's easier. Yeah. Thank
And
you
it
very
should
much, Rebekah.
pleasure. And it should
There
be
is a comment, sorry.
overdue.
Sorry,
We were supposed to do this a year ago, right?
Yes, we wanted to talk a year ago and then COVID came, right?
Yeah.
Finally,
Now we're
But we
adjusting. I mean, I'm here in my house and I miss the studio so much. I'm sorry that I'm not in the studio with you.
But we are so happy that you can be with us. So we will do something together in this room. Sandra also comments, she says, we're all going to be lost in music soon and a red heart.
Oh, Sandra, that's
we will.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great track as well. We're lost in music. Love it.
Yes, thank you so much, Rebekah and Eva. I'm doing a short announcement for next week. Maybe you want to join us. Next week on Thursdays, our Creative Talk guest is Michelle Grant. She wrote the book, now I lost it. The Great Fool. Living with Joy and Purpose, or the other way. She's a great person and she's a specialist in sustainability. And we will talk with her also in English, or we try at least, or I will try. So we're looking forward to meet Michelle on Thursdays. Then on Friday, we have the emerging artist Jan Pistor. He's a interaction designer and experience designer. And we talk with him about creativity in the crisis, but also how can culture happen in the digital space. And he co-created a very nice project that is called Laptops in Space, where you can do like informal meetings in the virtual space together, and or also you can make concerts or theaters in this project they created. He is our guest on Friday. This talk will be in German. And then on Saturday, we will do the seminar with Charlotte Axelsson. On Saturday, it's called Tune In, and it's all about how you can create more playful and more human digital virtual meetings and conferences. It's a seminar on Saturday in the morning, and we would like to see you there. We will hope to see you on another talk, on another workshop, and on another seminar. Thank you very much for being our guest. Have a good time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
I miss you. See you really soon.